Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Good Monday to all of you. So, I've had a few days to really think about things, especially related to Old Man Logan, his trials, what I think about it, the drama surrounding it, and whatnot. And I hope that, if you haven't caught my video on how to unlock him, if you're a newer mid-game player or you just didn't build Out of Time or Cabal, do check out my video from a couple of days ago from Friday, because it's a lot easier to get him unlocked than I initially thought, and a lot of us thought. In fact, it's so easy, sort of, that they had to put Scopely had to put out some communication a few hours after that video that I put out regarding this event and the expectations around it. So in this video, we're actually going to be talking about some of the pros. Yes, there's some pros to this event, and then a lot of the cons and things that I'm kind of concerned about. I know that we're not even finished the first event, but looking forward to beyond this, some concerns that I have going forward. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, this might look like the exact same screen, but I assure you it's not. So this one is my alt account. I want to start with the positives of the Old Man Logan event. So I was able to unlock and get the 1 red version of Old Man Logan by doing a D15, or initially it was a D14 run on one node to unlock Old Man Logan, and then I upgraded Old Man Logan, and then I used him to do D15 to punch up because I wasn't sure if my characters could handle that one, and I just absolutely wrecked it. Old Man Logan is probably one of the strongest characters in the game right now. I think he's actually better than Super Skrull, honestly. Like, his power and damage output is just sheer insanity. And if you've had a chance to use him over the last couple of days, I think you could probably agree with me, just because the amount of impact that he's going to have. Also, Cosmic Crucible is going to start later on today, so that's going to be wild when people start using him on probably defense. I think people are going to start putting him on defense. And the impact that he's going to have is just going to be ginormous. Now, I have him kind of actually, that's not true. I was going to say as far as I could go on my alt account, but I need some more teal adamantium. He is maxed out, though, on my main account at 100 G18 minus the G9. He's not G19 yet, but he will be hopefully in the not so distant future. And this has allowed me to punch up quite heavily within my alt account arena shard. Maybe if you caught some of my videos before on my alt account, oh, okay, now I'm 16. I was actually 9, and I got pushed back to 16. But I think that's insane, because the people that are in my rankings in my arena shard that's ahead of me are people that are like 2 to 3 months older than I am, because the shard itself is older. And so I think this is honestly pretty insane that I'm able to get this far, because previously I think I was around 60, and then I managed to punch up all the way to 16. Well, a bit higher than that, but now I think I'm getting a little bit stuck because other people are having Old Man Logan and whatnot. But his ability to punch up into kind of more standard characters, like I could probably clear all of this. Old Man Logan is just so powerful. He's just rolling through almost everything. Absolutely insane. So that's the first positive of this for new players, is that if you go through, what I told people to do as far as the Old Man Logan trials go, then you should be able to get him no problem to 4 yellow, 1 red. Not the 2 red, because in order to do that, you do need to do D10 with no packs, and the score for 1 node on D15 does not quite get you there, but it gets you pretty much everything else, and that's really good. Now, where does that get me in terms of my score? It's not great, right? Like, because a lot of people are doing this now. So as far as the ranking goes, like, I don't really expect I'm going to be somewhere in here, right? But I don't really mind, because I was able to get Old Man Logan on a 90-day alt account, and I think that's absolutely insane. So that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff for newer players. I think newer players and people who didn't build Out of Time and Cabal to be able to unlock Old Man Logan and use him, because we don't know how long it's going to be until his event comes back. And those are the positives. There's a handful of things here that I do want to talk about now in terms of some of the negative aspects of this event and where we go from here. And so, oops, sorry, too many offers. This is my main account, of course. And then the next thing that I want to talk about is the structure of the event, right? So unfortunately, I don't have the required characters at 5 yellow. Out of Time and Cabal. There's like 2 or 3 characters that I'm missing, maybe 50 something shards or so of each of them, and I'm not able to get this token for the 5 yellow. It's a bit unfortunate. I'm stuck at 4 yellow, 2 red, but it is what it is, right? And so I guess the main question that I have for Scopely, and just I'm kind of talking a little bit out loud here, is what's going to happen when this event comes around again? I want to take a look at the leaderboard. There's a few problems that I particularly have with the leaderboard structure. And the main thing is I think it's kind of weird that the tokens are in the leaderboard payout. Red stars, I don't particularly mind about that, but I think that, the whole issue about why they added the gold in the training mods was because people aren't going to wait until he pays out, to upgrade him. They're going to upgrade him right away. I think you'd be crazy kind of to wait until the end of the event just because of his impact in places like Cosmic Crucible that he's going to have this week, and to your roster and arena and whatnot. So the way that this is laid out, for those who don't remember, is that to get a 6 yellow, you need to get in the top 5,000. If you want to get a 7 yellow, you need to get in the top 500. The problem with this is that there is no grinding to this event. Unless I don't think Scopely even knows what they're going to do when this comes back for a second time. And actually, before we go any further, I should have mentioned this earlier on. I want to mention this because I talked about the news thing that they posted 3 hours after my video went out. Can we zoom in a bit more, a couple more times? 3 hours after I posted my original video on Friday, they came out with this news posting here from the Old Man Logan trials. Players will be able to earn Old Man Logan tokens in multiple ways. The minimum difficulty you can earn a 4 yellow star Old Man Logan is by reaching milestone 8 on D8. Players can also reach milestone 8 on harder difficulties by playing fewer missions. Now, I don't think this was intended because, the envoys never got a chance to actually playtest the trials, because if we did, I think that we would have brought this up sooner, and perhaps this might have been closed down in a variety of different ways, like maybe making sure that in order to start D15, you needed 7-star characters, for example, on all of them, maybe, or even that it would have to somehow check that you have 7-star Cabal in Out of Time before you can even access the difficulty, something like that. So they came out with this little chart on how you can actually unlock Old Man Logan. And you can see down here at D14 and 15, it's like one mission, right? To get a 4 yellow star Old Man Logan. To get a 5 yellow, you need to do 2 missions on D15. But keep in mind, you can't do D15 node number 2 until you have a 7-star Out of Time. So that's really not happening. And so I think it's a bit funny that this comes out like 3 hours after my video, after it, it's become a big hit. And thank you to all of you who watched it and pushed it and shared it with your communities, because it seems a bit convenient that they posted this. I'll tell you, it probably wasn't intended. And I can know for almost damn sure it was not intended to be unlocked this way. It's just that, it was, because we found out, and thanks to one of my Alliance members, Firestar, for letting me know about this so I could post it to you all. So it is what it is there, right? Let's get back to what I was originally talking about, and that's the leaderboard. And so the biggest problem here is that, let's talk about the 7 first. We'll go backwards. So only 500 people are going to get the 7 yellow Old Man Logan, right? And so we can assume, rightly or wrongly, how this is going to work, that those people who get the 500 7 yellows are likely going to get knocked off of the leaderboard for a second pass. Just like they did in the past with like a champions leaderboard and things like that. They just get completely removed. And so when they come back around to the event, they have a separate milestone and they're not actually competing on the leaderboard. Okay, so that's fine, right? But all of these other people in the top 5,000, they're all going to be competing again on the second event to try and get this 7 yellow. Okay, so this is a bit problematic. I know we're looking far into the future, but the structure of this event is what is a bit strange to me, because unless they make some massive improvements, this is going to be a hot mess when it comes back again. I don't even think they know how they're going to bring it back, but in what form. But I just wanted to kind of point this out, and maybe they'll see this, because if only 500 people are being removed from the leaderboard, that means that even the people who got the 6 yellow are still going to be competing with everyone else to get that top 500, which means that it's highly likely that the top 4,500 that are left over are competing for these 500 placements, and then will also be ranked in the top 5,000 and get a dupe 6 yellow token, right? And when you get a dupe token, it does absolutely nothing for you, because if you've already upgraded past it, you're not getting anything. And because there's red stars, honestly, I think it's going to be forever until we see red stars in the store for him because they're trying to auction this off. Maybe I'll be wrong. Who knows? Maybe they'll be a bit more generous and offer to this after the event goes away. But really, at the end of the day, I'm concerned about what they're going to do later on. Because if it's like I said, then basically people are just going to be competing with themselves to get the same people are going to be competing to get the top placements. And it's going to be a hot mess when these characters become farmable. When Cabal and Out of Time become farmable, then fighting for these placements are going to be even worse because there's going to be even more people that are challenging this. The bar is going to be raised higher, and yet there's going to be more people competing for the same slots for the same tokens that they already have, right? And so the only thing that I could see them doing is if instead of this is like to get a 6 yellow, you I don't know, there's top 10,000, and so that would include the 4,500 that's still fighting for that 7, plus maybe some extra slots, for everyone else. And then maybe they're going to give top 1,000 for the 7 yellow Logan. I feel like over time they should be making it easier, right? So here's a suggestion that I hope Scopely might take is that, maybe by the second pass, this 6 yellow token goes onto the milestones. I don't remember where the cap is for 6 yellow. I think it's, is it D14 or milestone 13 or 14 or something like this, right? So they should place it directly in the milestone here, the 6 yellow token on the second pass. And then by the third pass, put it on milestone 15 for the 7 yellow token, because it should be easier to grind. And that's the biggest problem that I think people might not be quite grasping. I've been reading some of the threads on Reddit, and I'm not sure if people fully understand exactly, that this is not grindable, right? Like once you get the 5 yellow token, which is, I don't have it yet, right? I don't have it. Once you get this one, there is no grinding. That's like as far as Old Man Logan is going to go in your roster is 5 yellow, 2 red. Maybe you pull out a ranking. And you have to score in the top 5,000 to even get a 3 red. So who knows about that, right? When it comes later on, if they release that or not. And so I think over time, they should just include more of the tokens into the milestone directly. And I think that'll make things easier. Now, I guess that means that eventually they're going to have to retire this event and that the leaderboard won't be the way that it is forever. There is still red gear up for grabs. So the people who get the 6 yellow are obviously still going to compete for this, right? Because the top 5, that's a lot of red gear orbs. So I don't know if this is just a one-time thing or what, because that's where I'm a little bit confused, because in previous trial events like Green Goblin Classic, they had the first time reward leaderboard things that only happened the first time. And I'm not sure what part of this is any of that, if indeed any of this is first time rewards, if that makes sense. So if there is, then, I hope that it doesn't take forever for them to let us know what it's going to look like in the second pass. I know we're probably going to be waiting months for that. But it's just, there's some real concerns that I have about this event. I think that this event has kind of like pissed off both spenders and hardcore free to play, because I don't know where the rankings are. This is my main account. I'm already pushed back to 14,600. Everyone's just stacked up there at the top, with D10 max packs, right? If you're not a light spender or whatever to get into D12. And for those, I just feel like it's just, the structure is not, the fact that they're auctioning off these stars is just so different than previous events that I hope that they find some way to sort of balance that out a bit. The balancing act of kind of making it more available by the second time. And I think my suggestion kind of makes a lot of sense. By putting in the 6 token into the milestone for the second pass, and then you're still fighting for the 7s, maybe, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But otherwise, it makes diamonds for Old Man Logan like useless. Otherwise, there's no, how are people going to get to 7 yellow, 7 red if they can't even get the 7 yellow? If only 500 people every single time are getting 7 yellow, that doesn't compute with me. Which means that, obviously we're not thinking about diamonds for Logan, but eventually that's going to be the case, I would think. But then it's going to be super hard to be able to even get there. I don't know. I think Logan's event has been something where a lot of us have just spent 10, 15, 20 minutes and then never doing it again. And that's kind of sad. I don't miss spending 5, 6, 8 hours on a trial event, but there has to be somewhere in between. Somewhere that, there's some grinding that can be done, or something where you can kind of punch up your content and be able to challenge yourself a little bit more. But being arbitrarily locked because I can't do any of this, is quite a bit of a shame, because I'd like to kind of do more. D10 was an absolute auto fest for my roster for the most part, because I was punching down content. I could easily have done like D14 content, maybe 15, who knows, right? But I wasn't able to get a shot to chance. So that was really disappointing. And I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below about Old Man Logan now that we've had some time to really think about it. Is Old Man Logan impactful? Absolutely. He's going to crush it. There's going to be some crazy, insane stuff that we're going to be seeing this week, probably out of Cosmic Crucible, and maybe I might have some videos out on that as well. But as far as the event goes and kind of the retrospect, now that we've kind of had a few days to digest it, I really hope they don't do something like this again. I also hope they don't bring it back on the second time the same as this. Otherwise, you're going to run into a lot of problems, and people very well could quit over this. And maybe they did already. I don't know. But it's just kind of a poor rollout. I think this is a hot mess. And that's just me. Otherwise, that's the end, everybody. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see you later. And enjoy the rest of your Monday. Boilon, signing out.